so excited for one particular reason. You know why? Because I've never done this presentation before, which means all of the information is new. And aside from my team, this is the very first market that's going to have this information. So exciting, isn't it? Well, I guess if I'm live, then that really isn't so exciting anymore. Because with live, there's no geographical boundaries. Everybody can see me. But nonetheless, I'm super excited because I have taken all of what I've learned in the last couple months, because you know how fast-paced social media is like, and a lot of things have actually changed, and there is a lot of tips that I want to share with you today. And so I was looking at the agenda when they emailed me and invited me for this convention, and it said, just discuss why social media matters, what the value of social media is. And I kind of want to address a misconception about what I'm really passionate about. Like a lot of people call me out on being too passionate about social media. It's like to the point that I'm almost radical about it, but I kind of want to correct that and say I'm not really too passionate about social media per se. What I'm passionate about is learning how to market where the attention is. You know, social media, next 5 years, next 10 years might not even be the way it is today, right? It might not even be called social media anymore. But if that's where the attention is from now, then I would still talk about it. I would still be passionate about it, because what I really stand for is learning how to adapt to where the attention is, and learning and equipping yourself through the skills to learn how to communicate where the attention is. All right? So, who are we actually marketing to, right? Whose attention are we grabbing? So studies show that actually in 2019, the millennials will be the dominating demographic in the population. 2019 is just 9 months from now. So I absolutely feel that it is super important, because we've spent decades marketing to the anti-aging demographic, right, baby boomers. It definitely matters that we maintain that strong customer base, because especially if they're recurring customers, then it doesn't make any sense if you don't maintain that customer base. But to build a business that would withstand the digital age, then it matters that you know how to communicate to the millennial generation. And so where are they? Okay, they're on social media platforms. So for millennials, the major platforms that we're on are Facebook and Instagram. For Generation Z, if you're born past 1996, then you're part of the Generation Z, and they have a little bit more diverse preference for what platforms they're on, which is another discussion for another day. But today I'm going to talk about Facebook more, because that still remains the strongest in terms of network. In short, a lot of people are still on it. And late last year, Facebook changed its behavior. So I've actually been approached by a couple people with complaints about lesser engagement. Their posts are being seen less, and it's less effective now. And I'm like, that's normal, because we've felt it too, and I'm not surprised, and that's because the algorithm has changed. Now, don't be scared about that term, algorithm. It's just basically how Facebook behaves and how it determines who or what you see and who sees what you post. And so, okay, let's go to the next slide. What I'm getting at is that social media platforms, now instead of it being a paradise for marketers, the old story was attraction marketing made easy. We're just gonna have a vault filled with captions and photos that you can copy and paste. Facebook now, from behaving like, oh, a lot of people are posting about the toothpaste or the Lumi Spa, and it's all like the same types of photos and types of captions. This must be a trending post now. Now let's promote it to a lot of people because people want to talk about it. From that, they've now behaved into, well, we kind of don't want to make this a marketer's playground anymore, and we want this to be a more personal platform where people catch up with each other and ask what's up. So they want you to be updated with friends and family. And so copy-pasted content will not work anymore. And that's probably why you do not see as much engagement on your social media platforms anymore, if you're still doing that. And so other platforms behave the same way as well, such as Instagram. And so the bottom line is social media platforms want you to care more and not copy and paste. And when I say care more, it wants you to care more about your content. Number one, it wants you to think about it more. It wants you to be more creative and wants it for you to post more unique content up there. And second, it wants you to care more about engagement. How are you going to spark engagement? The number one thing that they actually look at on a post to determine whether it's something valuable or worth putting up on other people's news feeds is that if there are actual replies, like actual conversations, back and forth conversations going on in your comment section. Okay, so if we used to value individual comments before, saying, oh wow, I love this product, wow, that's incredible, great results, Facebook is not going to see that anymore, and what it's actually going to see is if there are actual questions, there are actual conversations back and forth going on in the comments, and that means you have successfully posted content that's valuable for someone to actually have a conversation with you. Now, this is going to weed out people who would rather copy and paste. Now, I'm just going to be straight with you with this. Don't be lazy, okay? Think about your content more, but don't be scared too, because I'm going to present a solution for how you can do this easily, okay? So, the solution to this, actually, how you can be able to communicate on platforms in a way that demonstrates that you care about content and engagement, is to tell a story. Now you look at that and you go, well, that's pretty simple. Haven't I been telling a story all along? Well, I'm going to dive more into this, and let's see just how well you really do tell a story on social media, okay? So when you look at the elements of a good story, it all looks the same, even in movies, even in books that are good. So you see that there's always a main character who has a problem. So along the way, he meets a guide, some sort of a person or something that he sees. It's usually a person or a teacher or a mentor, right? This guy presents a plan to help him out avoid a certain failure and achieve a certain success, right? These are the elements of a good story. Now, I know this looks very analytical or scientific, so let's see how it actually looks like on posts, okay, on content. So I've actually retyped specific posts so that I don't crop it from Facebook and it looks too small for you to take pictures of. And so, on the left are posts that are absolutely not stories, and on the right would be how to properly tell a story. Okay, so let's go over this a little bit. So on the left is a picture of the polishing peel. And it says, resurfaces and smooths the skin, has pumpkin enzymes, breaks down dead skin cells, gives professional microdermabrasion results, no pain, no long sessions, more affordable than clinics. All right, this is absolutely not a story, because it did not make any effort to relate to your audience at all. While this is a good photo, this is actually a better photo for Instagram, which is a totally different platform. It's more visual, it appreciates more professional content. What works on Facebook is actually if this was a raw photo of the person holding the product or actually using the product. Because like I said, the intention of Facebook is for you to catch up with friends and family, and for you to be more personal and more raw. And so if you put your face up there instead of just the product photo, then this would have worked better. But just the same, if it has this kind of caption, it probably would not spark any conversations at all. Now on the right, I'm gonna read it for you. Don't you just hate it when bad skin ruins your confidence? I do. Too many blemishes after all the skincare products I've tried to fix it. Last month, I discovered a pumpkin peel product that really changed my skin. Been using it once a week till today. If not for this, I would have spent thousands on clinic sessions. Now I can enjoy glowing skin with a product I can use at home. If you have trouble skin like I do, skip the painful sessions. Try a safer alternative instead. And so she makes more of an effort to try to relate to her audience by presenting what the problem is and what the solution was. Okay, it actually looks long here, but it actually isn't. When you post it on Facebook, it's like 5 to 6 lines. So let's look at more examples. What if you have not tried a product? Because sometimes we're going to talk to new people, they haven't tried the product yet. How can they tell a story about their experience when they have not had it yet? So there is a way to still do that. This is the same, oops, let me go back to that. Press the wrong button. All right, did that right. So it's almost the same, just a different picture. This one is for someone who hasn't tried the product yet, right? So can I just tell you, one of the things I've always been bothered about is the fact that I can't take selfies without putting a filter on because of my dark spots and blemishes. I'm taking steps to change that now. A friend of mine is shipping this pumpkin peel to me, and next week I'm going to experience professional microdermabrasion results without the pain. Beats the expensive treatments. This is her actual results. I'm really excited. We'll keep you posted. So in a way, she was very honest, okay? I have not tried the product yet, but I'm very, very excited using someone else's results, but still telling you a story about how I want to fix my problem. And if you have a problem too, then that's something that we can definitely do together. And so there's a big difference. Okay, let me just point out why this picture, by the way, does not work. This is actually a bunch of collages put together in one post. And one thing I'm going to tell you is that new data show that people, when they scroll through their news feeds, have attention spans of 3 seconds. So it takes me 3 seconds to decide whether or not your piece of content is something I would pay attention to or scroll right over. So if your results are too small for me to look at, I'm not going to take, like the average person, is not going to take the time to click and go through each of them. So my tip is, if you're going to post a collage, just post one. One is enough, save the rest for, the following days when you're going to promote the same product. They save your content for another day. Now, these are how you tell a story about products. Now, how do you tell a story about your business when you're trying to recruit someone? Okay, so I like to do my little sound effects when I wait. Okay, so this looks familiar, doesn't it? Who has done a post like this? Join my team. We are looking for 10 people who want to earn online instant profits, over 200 products, strong team support, free to start. I mean, this used to work before because, it was a trending topic. It looks exciting because the old story was attraction marketing. But now the new story is you should learn how to tell a story. And so this is a more proper way to do it that works in the current algorithm. Okay, this is such a meaningful photo. This shows every reason why I do what I do. So that moms can spend more time with their families like they're supposed to, instead of spending all that precious time in traffic, and so that they can be empowered to realize that they can have it all of us, we are capable, don't wait, participate. So it's more of a story about who is the main character in this story are the moms, and the main problem is they don't have time enough with their kids, and so the solution is to actually be a part of this amazing team, so that what's the result of being a part of that team is that you can spend more time with your family where you're supposed to be. And the call to action is don't wait, participate. Just adding a little bit more flavor to it, right? So another example is a story that doesn't actually have to be that long. Sometimes a story can be short and sweet, right? One good thing about doing an online business, you can get paid no matter what you look. Transactions happen over chat anyways. And so in a very subtle way, she says that nowadays, the way you earn sometimes is so inconvenient. You always have to look good, dress up, and it takes so much time. But when you do an online business, it doesn't take as much time because all transactions are online. And so she has that certain pain point that she wants people to relate to. But let's go back to the elements of a good story, and let me tell you why these certain captions have had the engagement that they had. You don't see it, but they, oops. Okay, let me go back. Okay. Okay. All right, so there is a common mistake that most people do when they tell a story about their business or their products on social media, and it is this. They often interchange the main character and the guide. Okay, so be careful with making this mistake, because when you tell a story on social media, your main character should not be you. It should not be your team. It should not be your product. Your main character should be your reader, your prospect, your customers. And you should be addressing their problem. Your part is the guide. You have the plan for them to avoid the failure, whatever it is that their pain point is, and for them to achieve the kind of success, whatever their definition of success is. Because people have different motivations for either buying a product or joining a business, right? And so, let's go over why these stories work now. When you look at this kind of caption, the fact that she asked a question in the beginning means that she wasn't just telling her experience, she was talking to you, right? She's making you part of the journey, which means that you were the main character all along. Don't you just hate it when bad skin ruins your confidence? Next, like the other example is, can I just tell you? It's like, girl, you talking to me? Oh, she talking to me right now. One of the things I've always been bothered about is the fact that I can't take selfies without putting a filter on. Oh, that's my problem too. Well, she was talking to me, even though she wasn't actually literally talking to me. I felt like she was. And so, in reading a story like that, I felt like she was trying to solve my problem. You know what I mean? And so, be careful with interchanging. Now, with recruitment, the join my team kind of content is good. It used to be very exciting until a lot of people posted that way, and then Facebook started to flag them and demote them altogether. But a post like this is like, well, our team is amazing. Our team has these results. Our team has been selling so much. Just saying, you know, like what kind of problem did I actually help you solve? And so you have to make an effort to relate to the pain points of your readers, because they are actually the main character and you are the guide who's presenting a plan. So there you go. That's how to properly tell a story on social media. So now, how does this affect you in training your team? Because we are all leaders here and we're trying to train a team. So before, we used to have big vaults of copy-paste options for them. Just so you know, I've deleted mine and I've trained them differently since the algorithm has changed. And so my recommendation is, if you're going to train your team on telling a story, do not feed content, feed ideas instead. So I know it's super easy. This is going to weed out people who are lazy and who would rather copy and paste, but you don't want lazy people in your organization anyway. So help them become more creative. So examples of ideas would be, about products, personal experience with the products. I didn't feed you what to post. Instead of me saying just copy and paste this caption, I would tell you just talk about your personal experience with products, or product usage tips, or happy customer testimonials, or product highlights of the week. Every person in your organization is going to have different favorite products. So each post, in effect, would then be unique, and they would add their own personality to it, and they would add their own flavor to it too. So another example, travel essentials. People travel with different product favorites as well. And so I guess my recommendation as the leader of your team, like, sit down, maybe come up with a list of 20, 30, 40 ideas that you can share with your team and collaborate with them to build up on that list and help each other out to create more engaging stories on social media. Now, feed ideas about recruiting posts too, right? This can help. You can start with this. An idea is you tell your story, why you started, what your goals are, what you've achieved, a call to action. Another form of a recruiting post is a team shout out. Recognize people who have achieved 3,000 GSV, who have achieved their first income milestone. So recruiting content doesn't always have to be join my team posts. It can be in this form. So, oopsies. Oh. Okay. All right, so another form is work from home moments. Show people how you work. If you're a mom, show people that you have the capacity to work from home with your kid. Packing products for shipping. This is actually validation that people are buying your product. So it's proof that your business is doing well, and it's a very exciting opportunity. That is a form of recruiting content. Hustle moments show people how you get your work done, right? If you're working and you're traveling, this is how I get my work done. This is my workstation. Isn't it awesome? Stuff like that. It shows people that you work hard and business is actually busy. So stuff like that. Build on this list. Actually have fun with this. There is no, limit to the ideas that you can feed your team. So have fun with this. All right? Okie doke. Okay, so this is actually one tip that I also want you to know, is that these platforms are very strategic. There are clues if you really pay attention. If you open your Facebook app right now, the features are placed in a certain way that whatever Facebook wants you to use more of, it puts it on top. So when you open up your Facebook app, what do you see on top? Are these little circles? Oops. Why do I keep pressing that play button? I keep pressing, Hang on a second. I mean to press the laser, which is this, and they're both green, just so you know. That's why I'm having problems. Okay, so, laser. Okay, so on top of your feed, you would see stories and live broadcasts, right? So, Facebook is very strategic. If you are someone who takes advantage of live broadcasts and stories, then we would serve your content up on everybody's feed and everybody would see it. Talk about grabbing attention. So to grab people's attention, you have to figure out how to get good at live broadcasts. I know a lot of you are camera shy, but that is something that we have been addressing for 3 years now, so stop being shy anymore at this point, because this is how you win on Facebook. And stories, actually, if you are camera shy, I think of stories as baby steps, because stories are 15-second video bits, right? And they disappear after 24 hours. So if you happen to record a video that's not good and you think it's crappy, it gets deleted in 24 hours anyway, so you don't have to make a big deal out of it. So baby steps. Learn how to make stories first. Talk about how your day has been. Talk about your morning routine. Put it up on a story. And eventually, when you're ready for like a full-on live broadcast, then learn how to get good at that too. But the main tip here is, even when you look at Instagram, what's on top is the same. Because they want you to actually be on the platform. They want you to use these features. And in turn, they serve these posts to your audience more, and you get more engagement. So, tit for tat, right? Okay. Next. All right. So, I am going to wrap this up with some general tips that I want you to know. So number one, strengthen your personal branding and train your team to do the same. Now, if you're a distributor who runs a business page and it's already there, then be consistent with it. Still continue to put content on it. But every time I get asked what matters more, a personal profile or a business page, if you do not have it yet, I would not recommend that you run a business page right now, because business pages or the fan pages on Facebook have actually gotten less engagement now too, and we've all felt that, because Facebook wants it to be more personal. And by the way, if you have a team branding, that's not necessarily as duplicatable as a personal branding. And so if you really want speed in a social media business, teach your team the skills to build a stronger personal branding. And how do you do that? Learn how to tell stories for more engagement. Okay? Number two, the goal is to be memorable. Put up valuable content every day. Now, what's considered a valuable content? Something that educates your audience, information. Or it can be infotainment, something that informs someone in a very entertaining way. I actually watch some people here, and you guys are very entertaining when it comes to demonstrating a product or telling people about your opportunity. Another is if you make people feel things, like an emotional value to it, touch people's hearts, make people laugh. So that's valuable content. Number three, scroll with intent. Find new people to engage with daily. So the major change actually was, for as long as content had comments before, it would get served to everybody on your newsfeed, okay? It depends on the timing, everybody can see it, but now it gets served to the people you talk to the most. So, if you only keep talking to people within your Nu Skin community, then it's just your Nu Skin community who's going to see that kind of content, which is kind of a waste. So what you want to do is engage with people outside your Nu Skin community, because that's the point, right? You want prospects, you want new people seeing your content more. So make an effort to make new friends and engage with people outside your community. Number 4, content is only 1/3 of your job, or posting is only 1/3 of your job. After that, you spearfish and you follow up. That's the 2/3 of your spearfishing. Is basically private messaging, people offering your products or your business opportunity in private, and then follow up on the people who replied. So I work 12 to 18 hours on my business, and people say, well, how can you work that long if you only do posts? I mean, a post just lasts like a second. It takes a second. Like, you think of your content, and then what do you do after? It's actually spearfishing. 80% of my effort on a daily basis comes from following up and spearfishing new people. So remember that you have to cover all bases. Cast a wider net, and don't just wait for people to look at your posts. You actually have to do your job and ask a question in private. Number 5, find your voice and master doing live broadcasts and Facebook or Instagram stories, because they're very strategic with this, like I've said, and this is how you win on these platforms. But the last thing I want to share, which I haven't written here, is that no matter how fast or how much these algorithms change, there's one thing that remains constant, and it is that authenticity always wins on social media. For as long as you're authentic and you're real with your stories, then you always get the engagement it deserves. And for my part, as part of your support system in this business too, well, I guess I can guarantee you that I will stay on top of these changes, and alongside corporate, because I know Tyler and Brian are working so hard on these new platforms, these new softwares that we're going to launch in the very near future, as well as more projects in the future. We can work together in dominating and creating huge empires on social media. So that would be it. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. Bye, you guys.